And we have our dignitaries here for the panel. One by one, I'm going to announce the name of the our dignitaries, and they'll be here. Uh, Mr. Andre Terabin, he's going to moderate the session. Request you to please come here.
And announce the rest of the
Yeah. Let him know.
announce the rest.
Yeah. So we have our panelist Neha Singh from Traction Technologies,
Abhishek and Gorkov first.
Mr. Ramesh Abhishek, as Secretary Industrial Policy and Promotion, Ministry of Commerce and Industry,
Sergei Gorkov, Minister,
Sergei Gorkov, Mr.
Deputy Minister.
Deputy Minister, Economic and Trades, Russia Federation, Tushar Vashisht, Founder, Healthify Me, Sanjeev Bikhchandani, CEO Info Edge India Private Limited, Yuri Babin, Director, Investor Relations, Russia Direct Investment Fund,
Come, Sanjeev. Where's Tushar?
Mr. Sevelov Rozanov, Senior Vice President, CFO, Systema Fund. I now request Mr. Andre Terabin to sort of initiate the session.
Okay, I'll do in English just to make it simpler for interpreters, yeah? Uh, uh, Hello, everybody, and very warm welcome to their startup session. We are very much delighted that this time startup agenda is highlighted during this dignitaries meetings here. I think it's worth, and we'll try to speak. I'll ask the panel here to elaborate a little bit more what we can do together, start space of the two countries, India and Russia. Why it's the agenda came to our attention first place. We are like a System Asia fund, for example. We have like the first maybe fund from Russia operating here. We have a lot of inquiries about the Russian companies, what we can do in India, because India is a huge market to leverage, products. Indian consumer market is huge, as you know, and addressable market. Their payable market of the middle class is growing very rapidly. On the other hand, the Russian companies come from with fundamental science researchers results in saying what we can do because we lack application skills, which is India has an abundance. And what we can do, both like for both countries, so India and Russia, and for the opportunity is to use it to sell this product in the global markets. So the idea of the bridge comes up, but it's like in every case, execution is the key. We definitely want to do it not from top down, but from bottom up. So we need like execution mechanism, we need interested people, we need like desire to do something together. If it happens that like this critical mass of interest shows up, then like it's up to financing just to decide whether it's doable or not. So from this point of view, I think the panel which is today is very interesting because it's all their movers and shakers in the venture capital space are present. We have very interesting startups, both Transcend and Healthify Me. It's like Transcend is clear-cut success story. and Healthify hopefully will be a success story very, very soon. We have like funds, and Sanjeev Mirchandani, which is like for us, it can be a role model for any funds operating here in India. And we have like my boss is here, Vsevolod Rozanov from Systema Asia Fund. We have people who can potentially can participate in this process, like Mr. Gorkov here, and he will maybe elaborate it what is like potentially can be on the large stage, you know, their participation of the like big financial institution in this process. So, but the bottom line, everybody, I'll ask Russian the Fund of Direct Investments, and their question is very simple. Let's be practical, right? So in all your speeches, please address the issue. What do you think it makes sense to do something together? Because it's a lot of talks about their like possibility to put together fundamental science and Russian application skill and leverage to the mass consumption in India. Whether it's doable, and if it's doable, what you think can be a concrete execution mechanism to do it? Because we do it bottom up, so we should do it properly, right? So to start with, I want to start with startups and give the stage to Neka Singh, founder, Transcend Technology. Please now.
Thanks a lot. So I think both India and Russia have amazing tech talent, amazing potential for having like large startups. So Russia's VC ecosystem or startup ecosystem is more mature, slightly older than India, but I think India is also, the number of startups are increasing a lot year on year. So I had a couple of thoughts when I was thinking about how do we increase collaboration between India and Russia. The first is actually capture the people who are entering into the ecosystem of startups. For instance, if you look at the typical age of a founder, it is 2 to 3 years after college. So when they are thinking about where next to open their office, they should be thinking about, say Russia, or a Russian founder should be thinking about India as, say, one of the other, the second office that they are opening internationally. This one very interesting way to do that is to have your exchange programs across the universities. So for instance, both India and Russia have amazing technology universities. To have exchange programs so that the students are already aware of that region, and when they're thinking about internationally, there is no hump that they have to cross. So if you look at, like I come from IIT Bombay, a lot of my colleagues would have gone to, say, US or ECOL in France, or EPFL in Switzerland, in a lot of, as well as to Singapore. I think there can be, and Russia obviously has very good institutions, there can be more sort of exchange programs between these top institutions so that the students are more aware, they're more, they find it very easy to like open an office there or start expansion there. So that was the first thing. The second thing is, Russia obviously has a very well-developed VC ecosystem. The startups have been there, from earlier. If you look at India, like India globally last year had received, was a top 3 nation in terms of the VC funding that it has received. So that is sort of increasing. Thanks to some of the funds like Systema, RUNET, DST, we have had like Russian investors investing in startups in India. But there is a lot of room for that to grow. One of the ways that can be done is sort of having more interactions between the VCs over there and the startup founders in the 2 geographies, either by having more connects, by having some of the treks that ecosystem companies initiate. That can be one way in which both the investors over there are aware of the founders over here, as well as the founders over here know the top founders in Russia, because I think both of them have immense learning opportunities from each other. The third thing would be that if you look at Russia and India, they have very complementary skills. So as we were just talking about, Russia, for instance, has a very good core tech sort of talent, and in terms of even the companies, there are a lot of core tech companies which come out of Russia, and India can be a good go-to market for them. So so a good way to actually facilitate that is, for instance, having just an incubation center, which is sort of aided by the government or by some other ecosystem player, which is incubators of that. If a Russian company, core tech company, wants to come over here, set up their operations or see how the market how easy is it to do a JV with a local person over there. So just the ability that tomorrow, if you're thinking about expanding over here, how easy is it for a company to come over here, set up their office, and then start working with people here. So just having these incubation centers are sort of very useful when a core tech company over there is sort of thinking about expanding over here.
Okay, I think it's very much to the point. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah. Yeah. Clap. Mr. Abhishek, really you can be proud of like we as foreigners can just claim it. You can be very proud of your startups. And you are very much aware through the Russian desk, which is our, colleagues is running here, very, very well run here, that its agenda of the cooperation needs some kind of, let's put it mildly, refreshment, right? So new topics can come up. What do you think from the government point of view? What their Indian government can do and would like to have, in as part of their agenda in their Russian-Indian economic ties, What do you think what this role can startups can play? Can they take any role in this cooperation?
I mean, this is such a vast topic, India-Russia economic relationship and startups. It's very difficult to narrow down on anywhere. See, first of all, I just want to mention for the benefit of my Russian friends here, that in last 2.5 odd years, the government of India and the states also are giving comprehensive support to develop our startup ecosystem. The startups have been there from before. We have a very young population, very enterprising and dynamic population, and people want to do more and more entrepreneurship now. I think the opportunities needed to be more. They still need to be more. We need more incubators. We need more angel funds. We need more venture funds. And we need more market support. And we need easier regulations. And so many of these things are being done now. We have been able to achieve many things, but it's a work in progress. And we need to do a lot more. Coming down, so I can just, first of all, just wanted to make that point that the government is absolutely determined to make sure that we strengthen the ecosystem as much as we can from the government side. We also set up a fund of funds of 1.7 billion US dollars, and already a lot of progress is being made in that fund. We are implementing it through one of our development banks. So far as the partnership with Russian companies, Russian startups, venture funds is concerned, we have had some experience of doing similar partnerships with other countries. We set up a innovation bridge with Israel. We have also set up similar partnerships with other countries like Sweden and Netherlands and with Japan and so on. What we are trying to see is that, first of all, many of the challenges and problems of society can be resolved, addressed by innovative solutions of startups. So one of the things we did with our Israeli partners was we identified 3 challenges in health, health and water, and one more sector. And we asked them to come out with solutions. And through a competitive process, we selected 36 startups, 18 Indians and 18 Israelis, and we gave them a number of support. Now, similar work can be done with the Russian startups also. And those who are identified and selected, they can be supported either by giving some work in terms of market or funds wherever found necessary. Many government departments today, like Ministry of Agriculture, and we work closely with them, they identified many challenges that to be solved by the startups. Now there is an opportunity for Russian startups also to participate in these challenges. And where their solutions are found acceptable, then they will also get this huge market that the India provides. And many of the markets in India are provided by the governments, whether it's health sector or education or irrigation or agriculture or waste management and so on. So I think the governments are very keen, both the central government, state governments, many of our PSUs like the oil and natural gas sector, They are working a lot with the startups in finding solutions, and municipal corporations in terms of waste management and so on, and mobility solutions. So there is a huge opportunity, and our partnership bridge, I think we must have a strong partnership bridge with Russia on strengthening cooperation. There is a mechanism that we provide for getting all this support of market. And of course, as it was pointed out, the venture capital ecosystem is stronger there. Or your companies have already started that work. I think there's a huge possibility of doing much more in this area. But whom to fund, how to identify, we can help you with that. But you have to take your decisions, you have to do everything, but we will help you in finding more and more people who can be assisted or who can be funded. So I think there's opportunities are tremendous. Innovation is already very strong in Russia and India. That we have find that partnership between large companies and startups is also something which is extremely beneficial for both. The large companies get the agility, the research and the innovation that they require, and the smaller companies, they get the kind of funds or the market that they require. A lot of companies are working with startups on that. I think you have got such tremendous strength in the Russian economy, in your industry. I think they can really work with a lot of startups in India, which many countries, companies are doing actually, working very closely with our startups. So there's another opportunity. We can support from the government in every way we can. And so many of our state governments are very keen. They are also very active. We would like, we have involved them as well. They are also providing a lot of support to the startup ecosystem. We did a ranking exercise. So I can assure that from the government side, and we will rope in everyone else, there are enormous possibilities, and we would like to contribute in catalyzing all these possibilities into realities.
Thank you, sir. We are very much impressed what kind of support the Indian government gives to startup space, you know, both in their incubators and their funds level, right? So it can be very good role model. The position of the Russian side, I address this question to Mr. Gorkov, who is the Deputy Minister of Economic Development of Russia. Please, sir.
Thank you very much. I'll speak Russian, I'm sorry. Я абсолютно согласен, о чем сейчас говорил господин Абишек, потому что действительно у нас огромное количество возможностей для развития в сфере стартапов, хотя у нас, по-моему, схожие проблемы. И эти проблемы нам нужно научиться преодолевать. Первое, давайте посмотрим интересную статистику, если посмотреть в Силиконовой долине. Какие стартапы, какие национальности больше всего стоят стартапов в Силиконовой долине. Мы обнаружим, что индийская страна номер 1, российская страна номер 2. Это уже говорит о том, что мы самые инновативные нации в мире. Я вас с этим поздравляю, и я уверен, что это хорошая база. Второе, что очень важно, это схожесть проблем. Какие проблемы мы имеем? Ну вот несколько раз говорили. Первая проблема. Вообще у нас пока недостаточное количество объема стартапов, самих объемов. И это видно как и в России, так и в Индии. И у нас появились уже акселерационные программы, у нас появились с вами фонды, но пока и объем стартовых стартапов, и объем этих акселерационных программ ничтожно мал. Если мы говорим для размера экономики, потому что я уверен, что стартапы должны занимать и будут занимать больше и больше места в экономике наших стран. Вторая проблема, в которой мы сталкиваемся, она тоже очень похожа, это вопрос финансирования, потому что недостаточность инструментов и недостаточность объема венчурного финансирования, очевиден. Из-за этого эту проблему надо решать, нужны совершенно институциональные решения, и создание крупных фондов зачастую не всегда помогает, потому что вопрос аппетита к риску, аппетита к такому, знаете, риску в хорошем смысле финансовому, аппетита к бизнес-риску всегда вот в сфере стартапов достаточно специфичен. Да? И здесь нам стоит думать о разных инструментах. Что есть общего? Общего есть, что мы действительно самые инновационные. У нас много чем мы можем с вами похвалиться с точки зрения технологий. Действительно, при этом Индия комплементарна гигантский рынок сейчас и в будущем. И зачастую мы сейчас сталкиваемся, что российские стартапы не могут на российском рынке двигаться, потому что ограниченный объем просто самого рынка. И для нас индийский рынок — это очень хорошая возможность для продвижения вот таких стартап наших идей. Но я уверен, как и индийских идей тоже в России. К примеру, там есть вот команда сидит из моторики, компании, которая производит продукцию медицинского, да, происхождения, связанную с производством различного типа именно поддержки для детей в первую очередь. Да. И вот она сейчас активно приехала, вот я увидел, хотел их представить, интересная компания, которая сделала интересный инновационный продукт и выиграла у нас фактически почти конкурс на телевидении российском по стартапам. И вот она очень рада, что она здесь присутствует. И я уверен, что у нее будет место, и они собираются локализовать здесь производство. Стартап, который вот стартовал 3-4 года назад, но уже готов локализовать производство в Индии. Это очень хороший пример. Пример, конечно, очень хорошая ФК-система. Я благодарен за то, что создается именно платформа, потому что нам нужно именно платформы для того, чтобы производить обмен идеями. Самые главные идеи происходят на кроссе. Именно на кроссе создаются вот это value. И вот надо научиться нам на этом кроссе это value создавать. Я непосредственно сам принял участие в создании таких, будучи финансистом. Я создал совместно с компанией Шрей, вот у нас, я видел его в коридоре, руководителя фонд инвестиционный по поддержке стартапов в IT-секторе. Этот фонд был сформирован, больше 200 миллионов долларов мы инвестировали в этот фонд. Я уверен, что вот он начнет активно работать уже в этом году. И я думаю, что таких возможностей огромное количество. С точки зрения правительства Российской Федерации, конечно же, мы будем уделять развитию стартапов. Сейчас у нас на рассмотрении закон по краудфандингу. Непростой закон, но тем не менее мы считаем, что он очень важен именно для российских стартапов, потому что одна из проблем для российских стартапов – это отсутствие в достаточном объеме ангельского финансирования. Потому что классическая американская модель ангельского финансирования – это родственники и ближайшие знакомые. К сожалению, у нас не настолько богатые родственники, понимаете, пока. Я надеюсь, что их будет больше и больше, но пока их не так много. И хотя хотелось бы. И вот в этом смысле краудфандинговая платформа и закон от краудфандинга в России нам позволит, наверное, эту проблему ангельского финансирования решать. Второе, чем мы сейчас занимаемся, тоже моя ответственность непосредственная, я занимаюсь развитием именно новых институтов венчурного финансирования. Сейчас мы тоже будем готовить в следующем году новый такой проект по развитию венчурного финансирования. Мы собираемся увеличить объем фондов, объем инвестиций, потому что фонд нельзя создать один венчурный, или два, или три. Их должно быть много. Поэтому создание фондов и зонтиков фондов, потому что очень важно зонтичные еще фонды создавать, фонды фондов, что, к сожалению, в России вот отсутствует, и в Индии, кстати, тоже опыт не такой большой. Поэтому вот эти проблемы нам нужно решать совместно. Еще раз, у нас очень хорошие возможности синергии. В IT-секторе просто гигантская возможность для синергии, но не только в IT. Я думаю, что много секторов и других. И я думаю, что я приветствую вот именно платформенные решения, я приветствую те компании, которые работают, и я думаю, что в рамках нашего межправ комиссии диалога мы специально поднимем вопрос, специальное направление именно по взаимодействию и развитию стартапов. Потому что я думаю, синхронизация задач, синхронизация инструментов, регуляторики – это самое страшное дело для стартапов, правильно? Вот нам нужно это решать проблему и ее активно стимулировать. Спасибо вам большое, и надеюсь, что вот этот диалог послужит еще одним, наверное, шагом для того, чтобы понять друг друга, понять, какие задачи мы решаем именно в развитии стартапов. Спасибо.
Thank you very much, sir. I like it. So let's getting down to the point when more practical thing from the very mature investor, very fund manager here to Sanjeev. Chandani, sir, if I bring you a project which will be like an accelerator, if we do accelerator together, for example, the most like from the top of the hand is doing accelerator, will you be interested to look at it?
It depends. Okay, that's the most honest and truthful answer I can give. Because we've got to work bottom up. We've got to evaluate each project specifically, right? But coming back, just stepping back a bit. So if I look at the Indian tech entrepreneurs, startups, right, the most tech entrepreneurs, most startups address very local markets, right? So if you ask them, hey, listen, what's your greatest inspiration? Chances are it's from the Valley. It's not from anywhere else. It could be from India or the Valley, but most probably the Valley, right? Second is that, look, where would you expand? Now, Tushar is expanding overseas. So, Tushar, did you ever consider Russia? Answer is probably no. Right? So, the fundamental point is, that in India, the domestic market is large enough for startups to scale just by focusing on domestic markets. And I suspect it's the same in Russia as well. You've got a large domestic market. It's only when you have a small domestic market, are you usually export first, right? So in Israel, it's usually, overseas markets first. So therefore, what is the need for the collaboration, right? Is it to access markets? In some specific cases, maybe. But is it to get access to capital? I think that's important. At least in India, we're already seeing enough investments coming in from Russia. Is it to access technology? From an Indian startup perspective, answer is yes, but then awareness is low. For example, I have no clue as to what technology I can source from Russia, in the internet and in the internet tech space. So 2 years ago, we had our board offsite, and we chose to do it in Tel Aviv, right? And there were websites available which we did pre-prep work that, look, these are the startups, this is the technology, we could fix meetings, we could understand. So, I think some amount of awareness spreading is required, where at least Indian companies get to know, and I think as far as traction can play a big role here, that Indian companies can get to know what's available in Russia. For example, let's say in my company, we're looking for a technology using big data, machine learning to get a better resume with job match, right? Now we can do it in-house. We can source it from outside. We've looked outside, but the truth is we never looked at Russia because we're not aware. So I think there's a need for greater awareness, right? And I'm pretty sure, given Russia's formidable capability in technology, that solution is there somewhere, right? I don't know it, right? So there are 3-4 areas. So access to technology, I think there's huge scope there, but there needs to be awareness. Access to capital, I think that's already begun, and I think that's great. Access to markets, yes, it's an opportunity, but most startups will usually solve local problems first before venturing overseas, right? Access to talent. I think Russian talent in areas like machine learning, AI, deep tech, that can be very, very useful for Indian companies. So these are 3-4 areas I would say. So coming back to your question, accelerator, yes, it depends where, which companies, what area. Yes, we'll be interested.
Thank you very much. I think it's absolutely to the point. There is building up awareness first, just to figure out what is available and where is it available. All right, let's jump to the potential financing issue, right, and speak to. And I'll give the stage to Dmitry Golovanov, chairman of the board of the Small and Medium Enterprise Bank of Russia.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to be here and switch in Russian. И я бы хотел дать несколько комментариев относительно того, как мы смотрим на развитие новых технологий и инноваций, и стартапов с точки зрения малого и среднего предпринимательства и поддержки. В первую очередь я бы хотел сказать, что для развития и стартапов, и каких-либо инновационных проектов необходимо, конечно, иметь соответствующую почву или соответствующую окружающую среду. Она должна быть дружественной, и она должна помогать развитию новых технологий. На сегодняшний день корпорация развитие малого и среднего предпринимательства в Российской Федерации делает все для того, чтобы создать все предпосылки для развития стартапов. Что я имею в виду? Первое. Для того, чтобы развивался любой бизнес, необходим платежеспособный спрос на конечную продукцию. Это понятно. На сегодняшний день, благодаря работе корпорации МСП, создан платежеспособный спрос на продукцию малого и среднего бизнеса порядка 3 с лишним триллионов рублей за счет